What's up, y'all?
What up, peeps?
How you doing?
Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Well, that was lame.
All right. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Let's Make Out podcast, where we make out all things what?
Love, life, and laughter.
That's right. I am one of your hosts, Chad.
I'm your other host, Gabrielle. What is going on? How y'all been?
How y'all been?
Hopefully well.
Yes.
I feel like it's been more than a week. Just like by a couple days.
Yeah, it's been a little over a week.
A little over a week, yeah. I feel like it's just been a minute since we've filmed the podcast. It hasn't been that long, though, but it feels
we're
like
just
it.
late because we've been traveling. We traveled this last week when we normally would film it, so we are filming it now that we're back.
Yes, at the end of the week.
End of
so
the week.
happy Sunday.
Yes.
Because you're going to get this as soon as we finish it.
Exactly.
So
it's not going to be long, with that being said. But yeah, so...
What's been going on?
So,
last time we talked... I just don't even remember what happened the last time we talked.
I don't know.
I couldn't even tell you.
Last time we talked, we told you about Disney World.
Oh, we've talked to them since then.
Have we?
I don't know. Y'all, what was the last episode that we did? I'm pretty sure it was past Disney World. Are we crazy?
No, there was one more. Yeah,
there was one. I know I'm not crazy.
We talked about...
what were we talking? Oh,
we talked about Auntie.
We talked about Auntie, and thank you to everyone for your condolences and prayers. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes,
thank you
do.
so much for that. It was just life updates, and we said we was gonna come back and talk about the books we're listening to.
Yes,
and we never did that.
So we never did that.
So in theory, we should be doing that today.
Yeah. So we can skim.
But we may come back to that next time.
We may come back. We this is a quick one because again it is Sunday.
Yeah.
We want to spend time with family, and I want to do an hour and a half run. I don't want to, but your boy has to. Yes. But before we get into the actual podcast, let's get into this intro because you ain't gonna get me today.
All right. So let's see. If you're watching, you've noticed that I have different hair because I put in hair for our trip. We just went to Jamaica.
Yes, it was amazing,
and it was fantastic.
My
if you're not watching and you just happen to be listening to us, come on over to YouTube. You can actually watch this episode.
Yes.
Let's Make Out podcast. You can find us there. But yeah, so we went on vacation, you guys.
We did. Do you want to tell a crazy story of before vacation?
And it was crazy. First of all, so Babe has now become a full-blown COVID conspiracist.
Conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theorist because, okay. So if you don't know, for travel out of the country, most countries have their own, their own set of rules.
How many days you need to have a COVID test.
How many days you have to have a test before you have to present a negative test, blah, 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 blah.
And Jamaica used to be 10 days, and then they moved it to within 3 days.
Oh, I didn't know that it used to be 10 days. We had to have a negative test within 72 hours of our flight. So we scheduled our test at, CVS. We had to have we were going to take the PCR test because it has to either be the PCR test or the rapid antigen test.
Yes.
So we had our test. Very next day, we get the test back.
We were worried about getting the results in time, but they came back.
They came back
quickly.
the very next day. And Chaz was negative.
Yeah.
And mine was positive.
I mean, we were sitting there at the table
with my mom, with Kelly,
and Gracie.
Because we had just hung out. They came over for Pizza Friday, I feel like. And we were just hanging out. So literally.
Talking about buzzkill.
Because we were having such a great time.
So immediately she goes.
Gets some ass, goes into the other room. Because I'm like, what?
So we didn't believe it because she had no symptoms. She wasn't. So we didn't believe it.
Not that you cannot have COVID without any symptoms.
But we didn't believe
it. That. But
I mean, I had very slight symptoms when I had COVID. So yes, I mean, what I mean is she had nothing that made us think that she would have COVID, right?
Yeah. So Babe leaves. He goes to CVS.
Remember, my test was negative.
Yes. So I go, I'm in the room. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I need to be isolated because here's another thing. Like, I don't really know what the precautions are when you've been vaccinated. So I was like, Googling on my phone, trying to figure out. So, okay, so do I still isolate? Now, like, when I'm vaccinated, how does this work? Blah, blah, blah. So in my research, what I found is that the chances of passing COVID is lessened when you have had the vaccine, but that still doesn't mean that you don't have to quarantine. Like, you don't have to isolate yourself.
So she's still isolated.
So I still isolated myself. I mean, but mind you, we have been together with everybody all day. So exactly. It was like, okay.
So I go off to CVS.
I'm like freaking out. Like literally just freaking out because I'm thinking of, where I've been, who I had just hung out with Nana, like just all of these things going through my mind. And I'm like, oh my God.
So I was like, look, here's what we're going to do. Calm down, relax, do as much as you can. I'm going to go to CVS and get some at-home tests.
Yes.
So,
Babe gets one for everybody.
I get one for everybody. So, so everybody took a test, including the kids. Mm-hmm. And she even took one.
Yes.
They were all negative.
All negative.
Not even a faintest of line.
Nothing.
Yeah, good job, baby.
I'm like, okay. So in the meantime, while he's gone, I'm like, I just need another test because
so we both scheduled her a test.
You know how you're like this can't be, like, it just felt I don't know, it felt weird. So I was like, you know what, just in case, let me take another one.
First thing we did was pray. That
was the first thing we did was pray. My mom was like, you're fine. Like, she's so
and funny. I believed it too though. Like, I was like,
I just, if I'm not fine, it's okay if I'm not fine, but I don't want to jeopardize anybody else. Like, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my biggest concern. Like, oh my goodness, my kids can't be vaccinated because they're not old enough. Kelly cannot be vaccinated. So it's just, it's just like, oh my goodness, what in the world? So in the meantime, we scheduled 2 more tests for me the next day.
Yeah.
Just
2 different places.
Just to make sure. Like, I just needed to make sure.
One was a different CVS and one was another lab, like, that does tests.
Mm-hmm. So, get up. So, I, say my goodbyes to everybody. Like, I didn't hug anybody. I just came straight up to the room and went to sleep. I was like, crying and upset and all the things. So, I came up here, I went to sleep, slept horribly because I just kept tossing and turning. So then I get up in the morning and I go and take both tests. So then we get both test results back and they're negative.
Negative. Plus the one that she took Friday night
was negative.
So
it's just really interesting. So now, babe, feels like.
Yeah, mind you, and then we had to take a test to come back home.
Right, we had to get tested.
And it was negative.
Like
all of us.
3 days after we had been there, I feel like.
It was negative. All of us were negative again. So it's 4 negative tests to that one. So my theory is, but I'm going to tell you my theory after we do our first sponsor. Okay. So, new sponsor, y'all. So this sponsor, their name is Paint Your Life. Mm-hmm. So when I heard about, when they reach out and, to tell us about Paint Your Life, it's paintyourlife.com. It sounded like a really cool idea. I was like, okay, but I was thinking, I'm gonna tell you what it is, but I was thinking it's gonna be expensive. I'm like, well, will our peeps, will our listeners, or watchers really be interested? Because is it expensive? And well, it's actually not. So basically what you can do with paintyourlife.com, you can get a professional hand-painted portrait created from any photo at a truly affordable price. So I think that's pretty cool. Grab you something that you want to, to turn into a painting. I think that's really, really cool. You can choose from a team of world-class artists and work with them until every detail is perfect. So not only do you get to get this picture, but then you get to pick the person and then, go through the whole process with them. So it's to your liking. I mean, I think that's a great thing. And I think what's really cool is that it makes a perfect birthday, anniversary, or wedding gift, or any other gift, just a maybe because I love you gift, or, to someone, or even just to yourself. So we haven't ordered ours yet, so we're going to order one so that we can show you it soon. But the website is very easy to use. I did go through the website and kind of just look at how it, it's laid out. Very simple process. So very excited for us to sit down and pick which, image or what we want painted, because it's an important decision. We're going to pick it together.
Right.
And, we want to pick the right one for our first time. So, but we want you to check out Paint Your Life. So at paintyourlife.com, there's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money is refunded, guaranteed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really nice. And right now, as a limited time offer, get 20% off your painting. That's right, 20% off and free shipping. To get this special offer, text the word OUT, O-U-T, to 64,000. That's OUT to 64,000. Text OUT to 64,000. Paint your life. Celebrate the moments that matter the most to you. So terms do apply. Available at paintyourlife.com/terms. Again, that's text OUT to 64,000. O-U-T.
I've been holding on to that. Farewell. Yeah, it's the jam.
Okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, check them out. So
yeah.
Back to my conspiracy theory.
Babe's theory is that places... Yeah, go ahead.
So here's my thing.
What is your theory, love?
We all know, well, we all assume, some of us maybe don't know, I don't know for sure, but I assume that the pharmaceutical companies have a lot to lose if people aren't sick and aren't taking their medicine and aren't taking the tests that they prescribe or that they created. Because we might not be paying for tests.
Somebody's paying for them.
Somebody's paying for them. So they're making money off of these tests. So if no one is getting a positive COVID test, then no one needs to take a test again. But if people are getting positive tests, then they'll have to take another test at some point in time to make sure they're good to go. So I don't know. The government, I don't know.
I don't know that I believe in that theory.
But quotas
are a real thing.
Quotas are a real thing.
Yeah.
And so
quotas are a real thing.
Maybe this clinic had a quota. I hate to say it. I hate to think it, but we live in the world that we live in today.
I mean, it's interesting.
How does she go to another place 2 days later, 2 different places, plus a take-home test? Go ahead.
Well, the take-home test was 1 day later. And then the other test was 2 days later. But there is also the thought that maybe I did have it and didn't know, and it was just gone by then. Like, it's really interesting because you don't know. So then I'm reading all the things, researching all the things. And of course, I don't know if this stuff is legit or not, but it just talks about how people can test positive for months after having a positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can take a while for you to test negative. So it's just really, I don't know. I don't know the reason. I don't know if I had it. I do know that, we had talked about this on the vlog. I was talking about I had drainage. It was just like allergies is what I thought it was. But, I mean, I don't know, Yeah, it's just one of those things like.
I have drainage on a regular just because my allergies suck. So.
I don't know. But the quota thing is a real thing. So, like, it kind of ties into this book that I'm listening to about what to eat. How Not to Die is what it's called. And it just talks about how eating plant-based is, the best thing for you. But it also talks about how it goes through like every single, the premise is that nobody dies from old age. And it's that everything that causes death, like they did like, a survey, and it's like the top 3 killers are preventable diseases. So, heart attack, diabetes, stroke. Yeah. These are all directly related to what you're eating. Yeah. And it just talks about how, doctors don't get nutrition, like they only get a certain amount of hours of like nutrition. It was staggering
the what you told me,
how little. It's very, very little, like maybe 12 hours or something like that of all of their medical training.
You're a medical doctor and that's
right.
all?
And, and it just talks about how obviously like they are taught to treat disease, not to cure it, to treat it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the pharmaceutical industry It's an actual industry. Like, we know this. They have to, somebody got to be sick to benefit from it.
There's pharmaceutical reps. You see them with suitcases full of pills and samples that they go around to clinics.
So it's like, so the guy was explaining how we live long, like the lifespan is longer now than it was, I don't know, 50, 100 years ago or something. But the quality of life we live is not better. We're living longer because the medication allows people to function longer with the illness versus when you didn't have the medication or whatever, like, there was nothing to counter it. But your quality of life is still poor because, you're relying on this medicine. You're not 100%, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it was just, the book is really eye-opening. It's one of those things, like, I've started listening to it. I had to, like, stop listening to it because I don't want to, like, jump on a bandwagon and, like, y'all know how I'm a meat eater. I love meat. So the thought of not eating it.
She loves the meats.
The thought of not eating it is like really crazy, but there's so much research and evidence out there about how a plant-based diet is really what we should all be striving for. And it doesn't necessarily mean like no meat at all, but even just, and I was telling Babe, maybe if we shift our mindset to not eliminating things, but just increasing more plant-based items, you know what I'm saying? Like whole foods, nutrient dense foods, like not the the faux meats and the stuff like that, but actual like vitamins. Actual like vegetables. And you know what I'm saying? He was just talking about all the antioxidants and all of the benefits of having whole nutrient dense foods. And I feel like we need a total overhaul because we eat basically the same types of things, and you know what I'm saying, and it's a lot of protein.
And you think about it too is that all of the supplementation that we take today, just down to your general vitamins, trying to, like, vitamins, I don't think that God made food to not have the things that we needed, right? No, we should be getting all of that from our food, exactly. Yes. So but because people, us included, don't eat these nutrient rich whole foods, we're not getting the things that we need. So we're low on, B12, we're low on iron, zinc. I mean, just the list is endless.
It's just crazy.
We think bananas are the top potassium getter. That was,
Yeah, he said it was like 1,050 on the list of potassium.
Which is crazy because I guarantee you've heard potassium.
To get a banana. If you got low potassium, eat a banana. And it's like, no, you should be eating sweet potatoes. Like just little stuff like that we hear things and we take it as law, and then we don't do the research to back up, like we don't really know. It's just really interesting.
You don't back it up? That's what you said?
Shut up.
That's what I heard.
Anyway, that took me on a tangent, but he was just talking about how, because the whole book started because his grandmother was diagnosed with heart disease. And then she went to a doctor in California who was doing this, trial where he was taking people with heart disease and different conditions and putting them on a plant-based vegan diet. And his grandmother did it, and her heart disease was gone. Like, gone. And this man has been doing it with people for years, and he's just like, I was waiting for the pharmaceutical.
The guy in Game Changers.
I don't know. He was like, I was waiting for the pharmaceutical, the doctors and things to like come out and, tell these people this, and it's just like it's still this big secret because I mean, if nobody is sick, then all these companies suffer. It's
the same instance.
Same thing with like cancer. I wholeheartedly believe there's a cure for cancer. 100%. Absolutely. And he was talking about how, why do you think people who have Alzheimer's and it's another disease, he said the treatment plan is to immediately put somebody on a plant-based diet. Why do you think that is? You know what I'm saying? It's mind-boggling. Listening to the book, it's called How Not to Die.
It's funny that she says all this.
Y'all know how I feel about my protein.
Well, because remember when I went vegan, I can't
get protein from non-meat sources, but
remember when I went vegan? When I went vegan for 84 days, because it was after watching the Game Changers documentary, and that's on Netflix if you want to see it. It's still there.
Yeah. It's by Michael Greer.
Yeah, and I felt amazing. I felt so good, so amazing, but I didn't do it in an educated way. Mm-hmm. So meaning, I felt really good for 45 to 50 days, and then I kind of started getting, not feeling as good as because I wasn't getting the macronutrients I needed. Right. Because I was replacing, rich, protein dense meats with like potatoes. Yeah. Well, that just doesn't equate. So I was missing out on some nutrients I needed. So next time, or when we do this together, whatever we do, it'll be a process where we're educated along the way.
Yeah, I think that more than anything, we just need to start adding more vegetables. And you talked about like spices and the antioxidants that are in spices, and how just having like cinnamon on your oatmeal makes you like 50 times less likely to have a stroke or something. Like, it's like the statistics here he's giving in this book. I'm listening to it and I'm just like, wow. Like, yeah. So I'm trying not to like just go gun ho and be like, because I feel like there's a little bit of truth in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to take it as complete law, but I am definitely like, I know that we need to be eating more nutrient dense
I think that's where we need to start.
As a family,
I think that's where we need to start.
We need to start incorporating it more. Now, whether we taper off on our meat eating or not, at least we are incorporating more nutrient dense foods.
I think
and
it's
not
a good
just
start.
Eating for convenience. Because we eat a lot of things out of convenience. Like, I don't cook a whole lot. Babe doesn't cook a whole lot. It's just not something we enjoy doing. Yeah. So a lot of things are just easy, grab and go, throw it in the microwave. It's packaged, it's processed. So, yeah.
Yes. Well,
that was the whole like getting to Jamaica. We went off on a complete tangent.
Yeah, but real quick, while we're on food.
We start right into our next
Might
sponsor.
as well go to our second and last sponsor because it flows. It fits.
Yes.
Speaking of good food, we have always gotten good food from Hellofresh.
Always.
We've told you many times. So with Hellofresh, you can get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on Hellofresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Hellofresh cuts out the stressful meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes or less. You can try HelloFresh's quick and easy meals, 15 to 20 minute dinners, breakfast on the go, and more easy options, perfect for your busy lifestyle. Literally, HelloFresh offers 50 menu and market items each week. 50. So it's a lot of choices, including ready-to-eat salads, sandwiches, and soups. We have not had a bad meal with HelloFresh. I can't think of any bad meal.
No, they've all been so good.
They've all been so good. So good. And they all have a really good balance of what you're getting, So it's definitely something good that you should try out. If you've had it before, then I'm probably sure you can tell people that you liked it as well. But we want you to check it out. So you can actually go to hellofresh.com/14LMO and use code 14LMO for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. So again, go to hellofresh.com/14LMO and use code 14LMO for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. So check them out.
Check them out. Check them out.
But yeah, so that book, I actually started listening to it because it was an audiobook. So I started listening to it as well.
Oh, did you start listening to it?
I'm about 30 minutes into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, because I think it's something if we do together.
Yeah, I think we would be able to
be successful.
Be a bit more successful when we're on the same.
Because it was hard by myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Because I was like, I'm not stopping. I'm not finna eat no meat.
No, and I didn't expect her to. It was something I wanted to try.
All of this. So I don't know, but I don't know. The COVID thing, I really don't know. And another thing that bothered me is that not a single person checked our tests on the way to Jamaica. Yeah. Not a single, not the airline, I don't even think the hotel checked it when we got there. Did they ask for our test?
No, nobody checked it.
Nobody checked it in customs when we got to Jamaica. Like, not a single person asked for these test results. Which is a little alarming. Like,
yeah, which was crazy because we heard from some people at the resort that they had to show theirs.
Yeah.
They had to verify it, which, we were ready. We had all our
we had all tests, the negatives. Yeah. Only Chad and I, because children 12 and under
didn't have to test.
Except
test. For when we coming back. So it wasn't a requirement for them to test to go to Jamaica, but it's a requirement to come back to the U.S.
Right.
But coming back,
We couldn't even check in
like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, they checked it multiple times.
Stamped it, signed it.
Yes, before we came back into the U.S. So I don't know if that's a U.S. thing. Like their U.S. is more strict on that. Like it was just really weird. Like it was weird. But we met people from I think from like Ohio, and she was saying before they could check in they had to like verify it. She used like an app to verify her tests and stuff like that. So it was just really weird. Like why is nobody checking these tests? Ain't nobody finna check these tests? Like, ain't nobody. I was like, well, maybe they'll do it in Atlanta because we had a layover in Atlanta getting there. I was like, well, maybe they'll do it before we get on the international flight. Nobody asked for it.
It was wild.
It was really interesting.
It was
wild. So we get to Jamaica, okay? We finally get there, and we had a great time.
We had a great time.
Say all that to say that the vacation was great.
Vacation was great. We just had, it was just a wild, because because when the test came back positive, that first one, we were like, thought of going to Jamaica. It wasn't even the top of our concern, right?
Like, well, that's what trip insurance
exactly.
is for.
Who cares? At that point, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, we were meant to go through that scenario, maybe to tell the story to people, to get tested again. Maybe it's just to tell people if you get a test that's positive, go get tested again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what
there's so many different thoughts, because then it's also like, so say I had tested positive multiple times, and it's just like, had I not even had to take an international trip, I would have never known.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's kind of eye-opening again, in the sense that like you literally just don't know. Like, I'm walking around here, I'm vaccinated, so I've gotten a little bit lenient. Like I go in places without my mask because I feel like, okay, I'm vaccinated, I can do that. But you just never know. Everybody does not have symptoms. So it's just crazy. It's like we're not at the end. I think it was just an eye-opener. Like, yes, outside is opening up. We are all doing all the things, but COVID is still a very real thing. It is still very prevalent, and you know what I'm saying? And now with the Delta strand, like Delta the variant, that's like numbers are increasing. I think I saw a statistic that like all the states, like
I think California like changed their mask mandates,
like everywhere.
They updated their mask mandates recently.
It makes me think twice about, okay, well,
maybe we should put it,
maybe I should still be wearing my mask even though I am vaccinated. And we feel like, oh, okay, like the kids been wearing their mask, but they're not vaccinated. So it's just kind of like, maybe we should be. So it's just, it was a interesting experience.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and it just so we hope this gives you just information,
right,
and allows you to just to think differently and see someone else's experience, and like
right,
and or maybe if it's happened to you,
and maybe it's happened to you. So where did we go? We went to Montego Bay.
Yeah,
this was our second time in Montego Bay. And we actually stayed at the same resort we stayed at with the kids in 2018.
Yes.
And it was Iberostar Rose Hall Suites.
Yep.
And we just had a really good time. It's a chill resort. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a chill resort with a great pool situation, like an infinity pool that looks that literally
right over the ocean.
Right over the ocean. The ocean is great. But the pool is so nice and so perfectly heated to the sun.
It's perfect.
That you just don't want to get out of the pool, like perfect. Swim up bar situation. Reagan is so fearless now. She has her little floaties on her arms, so she can literally swim around the pool. Chad doesn't need anything. He's a swimmer. So we can just get in the pool and just be there.
Yeah. It was great. Like, I always say, like, when you travel with kids, it's not really a vacation because you can't really just check out. But actually, this time it wasn't as bad, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't anything to do, obviously, so we created our own schedule. We just chilled, but the kids were enjoying themselves. They weren't like really needy, I guess. No. I can think of like when we went to Cancun for Chad's spring break. Was it like 2 years ago? I think Reagan was just a little too small. It was just too much. Like you couldn't even, but this time around it was nice. And like they had a kids club, but Chad wasn't really feeling the kids club. Reagan wasn't old enough. She had to be 4. So So
this was our last trip.
It should be our last, like, to an all inclusive where she
can't go into the kids club if she wanted
like
to.
the last night, she went and they watched a movie. They were doing like a movie night and they made pizza. It was only for like an hour.
She got
they
to do
let
that
her
with her brother.
Yeah, and that was fun. But other than that, we was all together in the pool, go to the beach, come back to the pool. But we did give each other
shifts though.
We did, yeah. Babe and I, we took shifts a couple days so we could have just some alone time. We got some massages, like beachside massages. So
we had to do those separately, obviously.
But yeah, it was just real chill. Like, I enjoyed myself. I was a little stressed at first about creating content and all of that. And, you know, I had a couple days where it was stressing me out. And then I just was like, okay, you know what? We're here. Exactly. We're here. Whatever content I get. We decided not to post anything while we were there. Like, you know, we had vlogs to edit, but we just decided to take the whole week off. So those will be going up
here in the next, the next week. So be on the lookout over on Gabe Babe TV, our vlogging channel, if you don't know about that.
Yeah, check it out. So we did vlog some. So we've got some good vlogs from Jamaica. But we did have multiple days where we didn't vlog at all. So that was nice.
It was. It felt like a vacation.
It did.
And that was really, really nice. And I think it's important to do that. Like this, for us, we last year, I think we took middle of the year break. Well, ended up being because I had COVID, but
yes, we did.
But the year prior, we
had implemented like a mid-year break right after my birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I think we kind of got away from that. Last year, we ended up taking the break because of COVID, but we had forgotten about it.
Yeah, it was in July anyway, so I guess it kind of the timing was about the same. But this year, we didn't plan it this year, but we were there, and she knew that I would love to be, to not have to edit as well, and and not take that time away, and so, but it was good.
Yeah, it was great, and I mean, I Instagram storied. I still showed quite a bit of our trip. You know what I'm saying? I think I had a good balance of showing enough, but still like spending time off of my phone. And
she did a real good job.
So I'm working on it.
She is. I told her, I was like, you're a very good creative. Like, you create things really well. But sometimes she's so creative that like she gets sucked into that creating space, and I love that about her, but I'm like, you have to figure out a good balance, and she did really good on this trip.
I feel like these past like couple of months, it's been a little bit more stressful for me because of all of the shifts on Instagram. By now, you guys have all heard Instagram no longer wants to consider themselves a photo sharing app. They're all about video. So the constant pressure to create reels, and do I need to go live? Do we have an IGTV? Like, because a picture no longer suffices anymore. So it's like, I only have to worry about video for YouTube. Now it's like, oh, I have to worry about it for Instagram if I want to grow, or if I want to, you know what I'm saying? So it puts it's more pressure, because it's like, I can't just snap a picture. I got to put something creative together. So it's been a little bit stressful for me just trying to figure that out. But then I also have to realize, like, I don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where best practices, I get it. I am an influencer, but that doesn't mean that I have to do every single thing that, they say you need to do. I'm just not posting 5 reels a week. I'm just not doing it. I'm so sorry.
You think about, for Instagram or any other platform, they want people to be on there 24/7.
Right. Their goal is to take you off of,
regardless of what they say, of the whole being, healthy social media consumption and all that bull crap. It's bull crap because they need people on their app sharing content so that they can continue to make money and thrive and grow. So the whole, all that mental health stuff that social media pushes, it's
so I'm working on not letting that stress me out and just going with the flow. I capture what I capture, put it together how I put it together, and just, it is what it is. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know.
She's very much, I tell her this because she's so good at creating content that her underthinking it is going to be better than my overthinking it. Because she's just good at creating content, and I'm sure some of you would agree. She creates really good content. She just has to give herself that credit. Sometimes she gets so hard on herself, like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
That's how much Reels was so much fun when it was just Reels, like, oh, the fun, entertaining thing to do, and now it's like, no, I have to do Reels to be seen. I have to do Reels to grow. I have to do Reels, and it's like, it became less of a, oh, let me throw some cool footage together, to now like, oh, it has to be perfect. So, I don't know. Is anybody else feel like that? That's a creator if you're watching, or, you know, like, how do you feel about the shift in Instagram? Like, I get it. You have to evolve with the times, but it's been a little tough for me, if I'm honest.
It's just... So, but we had a great trip. I mean, it was just such a good trip. Awesome. My tan is killer.
Everybody's tan is freaking amazing.
I confirmed that I confirmed that there is no melanin in my skin. Once again, I've confirmed it because I still get burned.
You still get burned.
And they just get bronzed.
This beautiful tan. I love my tan. Oh my gosh. And the babies.
The babies. Oh my goodness.
Their tans are always
perfect. Just, I mean, it's like this golden crisp.
Oh my goodness.
It's just
so cute.
It's just beautiful. Like, but we, so much good time, you know, like so much fun we had. Like it was so relaxing, peaceful.
Mm-hmm. It was much
good
needed.
Dinners. We had dinners each night at different places. Good dinners.
Oh, we went on a catamaran cruise.
Yes.
We got to snorkel in the ocean. All the kids, like I got 5 of them, but all of us, like, were out in the ocean. Reagan did not want to snorkel. She was not about that life.
But she was swimming in the ocean.
But she was swimming in the ocean. We all had our life, you know, stuff on. Our life vests on.
Chad jumped off the side of the catamaran.
Yes, he jumped off the side of a catamaran. We swam out to like a trampoline in the ocean. We did that, and then Chad climbed this big old like rock.
Jumped off of it.
Like, we just had a really good time.
In the ocean. I mean, he's just so fearless, man.
We are all just out here in the ocean, and Reagan was living her best life. She had so much
She's
fun.
Like, this water's so salty. It was so funny.
So cute.
Man, we just had such a good time. And that's what's important is those experiences. Like that's it, man. The experiences are what matter, you know. And for us, you know, capturing the content is, you know, part of our job, and it's important to us, you know, for sure. But the memories, you know, is what matters, you know, in the long run.
And I just, you know, it was a good feeling, and we were talking about how, you know, just blessed we are to be in an opportunity to take our children out of the country and take them, on these vacations, because we didn't get to do that growing up as a kid. We were talking about how, you know, we didn't really travel like that. We didn't really travel like that. If we did, you know, maybe a road trip here and there, but well, nobody going flying to Jamaica and
exactly
Mexico and wherever, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a blessing
really cool
to be able to do that for the kids, and you know, give them these experiences that they will remember. They'll remember, and if they don't, we got plenty of footage to remind them. Okay,
exactly. We'll remember.
We'll remember.
Yeah, because we'll have all those memories of back when mommy and daddy were cool.
Okay. You did this with mommy and daddy.
Yeah,
okay,
we were cool. Okay,
right?
No, but it was good. But yeah, so that's it. We just wanted to kind of just give you, you know, kind of update on the trip we had kind of mentioned to you, and you know, and how good it was, and how we're excited now to get ready for the big trip in August.
The anniversary trip.
We will be celebrating 10 years of marriage.
So excited about that.
And we will be in a new place that neither one of us have been, with no kiddos.
Crazy.
For a trip. We're so excited about it.
So excited about it.
So more to come on that.
Yeah. Thanks guys for, you know, listening and being here. We always appreciate your support. We would love it if you would take the time to rate and review this podcast if you enjoyed it. That would just help us to know what you guys enjoy, and also help for new people to discover us and become part of the family.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, relationship dilemmas, situationships, anything you would love to get our unprofessional opinion on,
we'll opinionize it.
Feel free to send us an email at letsmakeoutpodcast@gmail.com with the hashtag AskGabeandBabe in the subject, and we will tackle that. We have gotten a couple new ones, so shout out to you guys who have been sending them, and we will tackle them next week. So whatever it is, send it on over, and we would love to, you know, give you our unprofessional opinion.
Yeah. Exactly. That's about it. So you can follow us Twitter, Let's Make Out Pod, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Let's Make Out Podcast. So we appreciate you. And our kids this is why we're wrapping up, because of the kiddos. Can't leave them alone too long.
Right. We'll talk to you guys next week at the right time. Same place though.
That's right.
Bye guys.
Deuces. All right, y'all.
Cool.
Got it done.
Have a good one.
Deuces.
Bye.